Just kind of ease into boost, and of course, wheel spin. Some Hondata. Welcome back to our Civic Type R. We're gonna do some more testing. So, I promised you guys that we're going to be looking at Hondata as well in terms of tuning this car. I think it's a valid point. We've got COBB that has a new, or has the Accessport that is new to the Honda world, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, how does that compare to an established tuning platform, which is Hondata? So what we've done is we've actually uninstalled the COBB Accessport from this car. You can watch our video about our great results that we're able to achieve with that tuning tool, the COBB Accessport. We're going to install Hondata on the Civic Type R. We're going to put it back on our dyno, and we're going to see what kind of results we get with Hondata. We're going to talk about the differences of the two platforms, see if we can tease out some important and relevant information for you guys. So the car has the PRL intake, it's got the catback exhaust, it's got slightly different front tires, so we're going to recalibrate the dyno for that. But aside from that, the same car, very similar conditions, so this is going to be a test you'll definitely want to stay around and find out. Without further ado, let's get to installing some Hondata. So first things first, I mentioned that we uninstalled the COBB Accessport. So that's one of the beautiful things about the COBB Accessport, that you can have this device installed on the car, enjoy the tuning while the device is married to the vehicle, and when you are done, you want to sell the car, you want to move on to a different platform, what have you, you can just uninstall the device, the COBB Accessport, from the car, and it can be married to another Honda. So you can resell this device, you can move it on to your new car. If it's a Honda, you can even relicense it for a different vehicle for a fee, of course. So there's a lot of flexibility with moving the COBB Accessport from one vehicle to another. But now that we've uninstalled it, this car is back to stock configuration, and we have this, the Hondata device. So first of all, we've got the Flash Pro with the OBD cable that we're going to plug in under the dash. But what you'll notice is that in the box there is no handheld that you can mount on your dash that gives you the gauges like the COBB Accessport. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, so there is a way to get it on a mobile device, but all the tuning that we're going to be doing is going to happen through our laptop. So I'm going to plug this in, I'm going to grab my laptop, and we're going to go through the installation process. Here they also offer a piece of paper with some instructions. Install the Flash Pro Manager software. I have done that on the computer already. Then start Flash Pro Manager and check for updates. So as soon as I plugged in the Flash Pro Manager, with the Flash Pro Manager running the Flash Pro module into the computer, it's telling me to unplug it from the vehicle because it needs to update. So we're going to do just that. Once we've registered the software, we're able to grab the VIN, copy the VIN, and then we went to purchase jailbreak. However, when we logged into the website to purchase the jailbreak, it was done as a guest login rather than creating an account. Unfortunately, once payment went through, we got logged out of that guest login, and we didn't receive the email with the order number. Because of that, we couldn't access the instant jailbreak on this car because the order number was missing. So I went back and I created an account, I paid for another jailbreak, and then I was able to put in the order number just to get the car jailbroken. So tip for you, create an account on the Hondata website just in case you don't get an email and you need to go back and grab your order number for the jailbreak. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that your ECU is jailbroken before you try and flash. It will allow you to flash a calibration, to start the flashing process about 3/4 of the way through the flashing process, and it'll quit the flashing process and your car will not be operable until you actually return ECU to stock. So that was able to get the car back to being able to turn it on. So in case you run into these issues, just be aware of them. Make sure you get the jailbroken through the website. Then, so we're gonna go file, new calibration to 2021. It has recognized that. Carb, flex fuel, no. Intake stock, we actually have the PRL. Exhaust, it has a catback, 91 octane fuel, and we're just going to go okay. All right, so here we are. Now we're actually able to modify tables, but what we're going to do is we're not going to modify any of these tables for now. We're going to place the car back on the dyno to retake the baseline, the stock baseline, and then we're going to flash this calibration, and then we're going to adjust the calibration further, or custom tune the calibration. So now we're just going to do our baseline pull with Hondata, fully stock calibration. You can see that the numbers really overlay well from when we had this car stock. The difference is that now it has that PRL intake, so you can see that there's maybe a little bit of power in the mid-range there from the intake. Up top, the power is pretty much the same. So the new pull that we just did right now is this darker line, and then the fainter line is the previous stock tune pull without the intake that we did when we had the Accessport. So very similar. I'm very happy with that. And what we're going to do next, that we also figured out the data log. So we built this calibration for the PRL intake with the stock size MAF housing, with this particular exhaust on there, 91 fuel. Let's load this up. Let's open it, and we're just going to flash it onto the car here. Let's see what this puppy does. That's a little messy. At this point, we decided it was time to build our own calibration. So we built our own tune and went back on the dyno to see the results. All right. There's a lot to unpack here about tuning between the two devices, between the COBB and the Hondata. So strap on down, because we're gonna do a deep dive into the results, how they were achieved, and using these two platforms. First of all, in terms of just the device, the COBB has a bit of an advantage because you get a handheld with a screen, and I love watching data. I love just glancing at it and seeing what the car is doing. And you can do this with an app on the Hondata, but having that dedicated screen is something that I've always appreciated. Also, on the COBB Accessport, there is no jailbreak kerfuffle, having to go buy a jailbreak once you identify your car and so on. It just does it all in one step, which is much more convenient. So those are kind of the differences in terms of the usability. Also, in terms of flashing maps, I haven't tried the Hondata app on the phone. I don't like using my phone for flashing cars, just for the reason of being interrupted and so on. I have used the laptop in doing so. So this is kind of the interface of what it looks like when you're data logging, when you're flashing. It's a little bit more old school, if you will. I mean, this goes back to the laptop in the passenger seat of a Honda Civic. It gets the job done, and But you do have to kind of be aware that probably to get the most functionality out of this, you need a laptop of some sort. Now, in terms of the tune and the results, I will put a caveat in here, and that is that I first tuned the COBB Accessport and then use Hondata, which means that in terms of tuning the actual platform, my experience only got better by the time I jumped into the Flash Pro device. So with the Accessport, it was obviously done before, so now I had more experience and I tweaked things a little bit more beyond what I did with the Accessport. Can I go back and do the same with the Accessport? Absolutely. I can uninstall this, install the Accessport back on the car, and achieve similar results. So case in point, I'm going to draw up the tune on pump gas. So this is PRL intake, cap back, pump gas tune, and here is so Hondata is the dark line, and then the Accessport tune is the lighter line. Now you'll notice that past about 4,500 RPM, they are absolutely identical, which means that, well, the tunes are performing the same, the fuel is the same, the car is the same. That's what you expect. Here, however, you see that there is a torque difference between the two. Now, this is not because there's a particular capability of one device over the other. This is simply me having some more time with the car and dialing in a little bit more torque. It is winter time right now. It is colder. If you're on the track and so on, especially with front-wheel drive and wheel spin, this may not be ideal to have this much torque. We're looking at about 370, over 370 foot-pounds of torque. It's a lot of torque. Regardless, in terms of tuning the vehicle, there's definitely parity between the two devices. You've got access to very similar tables. You've got access to very similar features in terms of being able to dialing in the calibration of the car. Hondata does have more custom features such as launch control, flat foot shift, traction control, and so on. That being said, I know the guys at COBB are hard at work to be adding those features to the Accessport. They have them on other platforms. I expect to see them here as well. One thing I really wanted to highlight about this, however, is that with the Hondata device, you can build yourself kind of an off-the-shelf sort of tune based on the mods that you've done. So I did that initially, and then I custom tuned the car. So I'll show you guys the comparison between kind of like the off-the-shelf tune that I started out with, and then comparing that to the final tune, which you see again as a dark line. So there's the OTS sort of off-the-shelf Hondata version of the tune. You can see that there are more oscillations in the power curve, and overall the power output is lower. Should you expect something else? No, probably not. This is because an off-the-shelf tune is designed to be much more generic. Getting your car custom tuned is really the way to go to maximize both your gains, your safety, your performance of the engine. So this tells you that it's nice to have an off-the-shelf tune. COBB has, Hondata has as well, but the reality is that if you want to maximize the potential of the car, get the car pro tuned or custom tuned. This is what our specialty is and our expertise. So this is something that we can definitely help you out with, regardless of the device that you're using to flash the actual car. Just another comparison here, because I love to throw this on. We did a pull on the stock calibration, and there you see the massive gains that you get from tuning the car. This is a great platform to tune. This car has very minimal mods. It's on pump gas, and it's so much faster, so much more performance than what you get from the stock calibration. So regardless of the device that you choose to tune with, we're building experience with the COBB Accessport. We have a lot of experience with the COBB Accessport. We're able to build up our experience with the Flash Pro from Hondata, so we'll be able to help you guys regardless of the platform that you use to flash the car. Now, enough talking. let's unstrap this car from the dyno and go for a little ride. We just finished dialing this Type R in here. You know, the powertrain in this car is smooth and eager. Everything feels really good. What a great platform to be tuning. And even with minimal parts, all you need is a tune and then it just comes alive. It's so much fun to also go through the gearbox, go through the gears. So you're just dancing with this thing, trying to locate grip. The only thing that you probably want to address, especially if you want to drive this thing hard on track in the middle of summer, is cooling. So, what conclusions can we draw from this, as it's getting pitch black out here, and just like a lot of its turbocharged brethren, competitors, and so on, the Honda Civic Type R with a turbo offers a very, very compelling package, out of the box and tuned. And there's no parts you can add to this engine that will make as much of a difference to the way it drives and to the power levels that you can from just a tune. So I'm very happy that COBB has stepped into this platform. I'm very happy that we can offer you guys custom calibrations via the COBB Accessport, via Hondata. They can all achieve, well, the same performance, given that the engine and the fuel is the same. So the choice is up to you, which one you choose. We'll be happy to help you with either choice you make. We'll be happy to answer your questions, and stay tuned for more. So until next time, I'm just gonna enjoy this drive a bit more. We'll catch you guys on the next one.